So here we can see, me laying everything out. Sorry, this is future me after I realized that the video had no sound because the cordless mic that I was using decided its battery was going to die. So here we go. We're removing that metal plate in behind the water pump nice and carefully. Kind of looks like Sid from Ice Age, a little bit. And we're going to go ahead, pull this gasket, and shellac the gasket. It really sucks that this is future me having to tell you guys exactly what I'm doing while I'm editing. It's kind of nuts. But I'm not taking the whole tractor apart again. So, dabbing some shellac on it. Permatex makes a great shellac. Stuff works amazing. I've never had a leak out of a car water pump, so I figured why not use it here. So we're going to shellac the back of the water pump here. Blap, 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 blap. And blap, blap. Blap, 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 blap. Yeah, laying that out. And going to show y'all. Take a look-see. Going to put that new gasket down on the pump. Then I thought about doing it to the plate, and I was like, it doesn't really. Yeah, I think we'll just do it to the gasket. I'm trying to figure out which way the plate goes. Because technically, I don't need that plate. Technically, that's for the old 6-volt generator. But the spacing is required for the belt, so I did wind up using it, nonetheless. Looking at it. Which way it go? Oh, there we go. Yep, got it. Never thought I'd be doing commentary on my own bit yet. But we're going to go ahead and put the shellac on that. I do both sides just because I don't want to leak. Coolant isn't cheap. It's $14 a gallon. So, yeah, here I am showing you, even though I'm way over here. This is like the first live that I've done where I'm actually in the video. I've done a ton of RP lives, but this is the first one where I'm in the video. So we're going to go ahead and put that plate on. Then put that bolt in. Yeah, there's one bolt on top that goes in first. There we have it. Oh yeah, I got to open up the second gasket. Because it's a 2-gasket thing. You got to have one behind the metal plate, one in front of the metal plate. Kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Gosh dang, I take a while to open up that package, don't I? I should have edited that out. Too late. Already blended the videos. Yep, make sure that I know how it fits. I'm like, maybe I'll dab it on that. Yeah. I think I do wind up dabbing that one on the metal plate, though. Perhaps. Oh. I'm like, what am I doing? Smear that on there, smear that on there. Never realized watching your own work so boring. But it's not. It's not boring. I'm going to have to walk you through, each step because that's what I was doing while I was doing this. Talking away to nobody. Even though I've pretty much grown accustomed to talking to myself. Yep, there we go. Gasket's all slacked up. Now, I believe I'm going to wind up putting that down. Yeah, I put that down on the block first because there's studs that stick out of the front of the block. So here I am getting it lined up. It was actually a tight fit. Like there's 3 studs that stick out of the front of the block, and you got to slide that gasket on them. So that's what I'm doing right now, and making sure that I don't tear the gasket. I had pre-cleaned it when I pulled the old water pump off. I scraped it with a razor blade. And then used, I think it was a wire. No, it wasn't a wire wheel. It was a Brillo pad for the drill. Got it all nice and clean. Now I'm just dabbing the back plate because I have a pretty rough idea of where it's, the gasket's going to land. And the gasket's got both sides done up anyway, so not a big deal. All right, so now we put the water pump on. And I believe the camera is going to probably move. Yep, there it goes. Whee! Down we go. Oh, yeah. Gosh, you can tell I'm not used to doing the YouTube thing. Here we go. And trust me, if you guys continue to watch the video, I'll get better equipment, better setups for doing stuff like this. But it's just difficult because I should have taken the hood off. I should have, and I didn't. There we go. Okay, so I did cut the video to get the water pump fitted into place because I kept knocking the phone out of the way. So the water pump is kind of sort of fitted in place. I've got a nut lightly put on there. And for some reason, I grabbed the lock washer, which didn't even go to that. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. It was like, whatever. Get rid of it. So here we are, putting the nut on. A little bit of a pain in the butt. Just a tight area for your hands. I'm surprised I didn't wind up getting cut. Well, that socket's got shellac all over it. So, tightening it down. Little 1/4-inch ratchet. 13mm socket. Well, actually, it's a 1/2 inch, I believe. There we go. Now I'm going to go over to the other side, do the same thing, just snug up the other bolt on the other side. You can see me, hey, there's my goofy face. I'm peeking through at you and from the other side there. I'm going to go ahead and tighten up that nut. It only takes a couple minutes to do this, so we're tightening up that nut now. Pulling that water pump good and tight. You just got to make sure that shellac squeezes out. I believe I said that too. Like, you got to make sure you get a little bit of squeeze out of that shellac. I'd say maybe, I put those bolts down to maybe 15, 20 foot-pounds. They're not killer. They're not, they're not killer strong. I'm not going to put like 60 to 80 pound-feet of torque on those little 1/2 inch bolts. I'm just not. Well, nuts. But still. Here we go. Ratchet, ratchet, ratchet. Yada, yada, yada. Again, I am sorry for the voiceover. It had to be done. So, tightening that up. Sorry about the peeping in the background. I have baby chicks. I put up a few shorts on them. Go ahead and tighten back up this side. I needed to make sure that the water pump worked in snugly on both sides so I didn't accidentally split, the cast iron housing. Water pump is cast iron. Don't want to split it. Oh, I think I wind up turning the nut over just because it didn't feel right. Something felt wrong. So I turned the nut over. I mean, you're dealing with hardware that's 70 plus years old. Yeah, get both hands in there. Phone's moving. I'm doing you guys dirty here because you can't really see what's going on, but I'm giving you a pretty good idea here. All right, we're going to go ahead and snug that down, get it good and tight. You ever felt that when you're tightening down a nut and it just all of a sudden it's loose again? Yeah, that's what I thought I was dealing with. I was like, no, please tell me I'm not extracting a stud. But it did tighten down. Now we're doing the lower. There's one lower nut down there. Yeah, get down there. That 1/4 inch ratchet makes it nice. I should have used my, I have a DeWalt 3/8 drive, cordless, you know. But I figure we're working old school, might as well as use the old school. Lower bolt tight. It's a 3-bolt that holds that water pump to the block. The cool part about this water pump is it came with new fan bolts, which is great because I accidentally dropped one down into that valley below the crankshaft. Good luck ever finding it again. So I was kind of happy to see that. I was like, yeah. But I'm not going to bore you with this part. We're just getting them out. I'll be honest with you. Really and truly, they were a pain in the butt to get out. They did not clean the threads when they put those bolts in. They were really a pain in the butt. Here, I wanted to make sure you guys had a pretty good view of it, so I'm moving you around. For that, I apologize. This phone takes amazing video, though. It really does. It's the Samsung Galaxy S25. Just a good phone. I enjoy it for its video quality, especially when I'm helping customers, you know, when I'm videoing the start of a job. But we're getting off topic. ADHD. Cool part was those bolts actually came with lock washers, which is really nice. I'm kind of glad that the threads are a little buggered too, because you know you want every little bit that's grabbing that bolt spinning at, I don't know, probably 2,000 RPM when you're bush hogging, maybe 2,000. Not really sure. This one doesn't have a proof meter on it, so or RPM gauge as most would know it as. But I want something that you make sure that it's holding on there and the fan's not spitting through a radiator that you'd be hard pressed to replace. Got one more bolt, and that one fought the whole way out. It was insane how much that bolt fought. Brand new bolt, brand new. Well, I think it's a remanufactured water pump because it's pretty crappily casted. It looks like it was casted in the 40s. So I'm thinking maybe they remanufactured it and slammed it back up on the net. I mean, hell, if they want my old one, they can have it. Be nice to repurpose the original pumps, you know. But I wasn't dealing with rebuilding it. I think I paid $30 for this pump. So for me, it was just easier just to replace it. So yeah, you can see fan was a little wedged down there. But there's a little hub that actually lines up, locks onto. Now I'm just getting the bolt hole lined up here. I'm like, does it go here? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Here we go. Bolt and lock washer going on. So we're just going to sit here and twist, 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 twist. Yada, 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 yada. There we go. There's that one finger tight. And I do go, I want to make sure that I get all the bolts in before I start tightening everything down. Yep, I'm chasing a lock washer right now that had fallen off that bolt. So doing that one-handed, getting the lock washer back on it, it's kind of a pain in the butt because I really don't want to drop that into the original radiator. The original radiator doesn't leak, so I'd rather keep it that way. So now we're getting down to the final bolt. I forget what I was even talking about when I was tightening that up. But getting her down. I have yet to even get to use this tractor. I think I did one patch of the tall dead grass from last year, and the water pump exploded. So it was like, I didn't even get a chance to really, put it to the test. It runs good, I think. I haven't really put it under any sort of load yet. So now we're going to go through, snug them up. Probably the same as the water pump itself. 15 foot-pounds, nothing killer. Enough to cinch that lock washer. Probably a bunch of grunting and groaning and ow my hands. It's like playing with a ratchet near some knives. Hell, I'm not even sure if that's the original engine in this machine. The owner that had it before me, claims it was rebuilt. He claims that he put sleeves in it and stuff. But, it does run good. Great compression. I'm kind of inclined to believe him. The oil looks great in it, both the hydraulic oil and the engine oil. It's better for what I paid for this machine. But you can't beat these little 8Ns. They're just good little machines for what they are. Runs a 6-foot bush hog, no problem, which I've sharpened way up. I sharpened the blades up on that good. Now we're going to go ahead, set the belt onto the pulleys there. And I slide on the lower radiator hose. I kind of got you out of view. I had to make sure that y'all could see it. Now there goes the clamp. I did, however, cut out a bunch of time because for some reason I lost my flathead screwdriver. I had to go inside, so I wound up stopping the video, or so I thought. It didn't actually stop. The little remote that I got decided it didn't want to function then and there, so I wound up editing that whole section out. Now we're tightening down the clamp for the lower radiator hose. And that radiator hose looks chewed up, but it ain't. I had accidentally flipped the camera because it bounced off tie rod. Just making sure y'all are in a spot where y'all can see what I'm doing. That tripod did not want to cooperate at all. You're right in there, tighten up that lower rad hose. I know it looks bad, the rad hose is not. There was like a cloth coating on it, and when I pressure washed the engine, get all that coolant off of there, it stripped a little bit of that cloth coating on the lower rad hose. Now we're going to move you guys over to the other side because I got to put the alternator, I got to loosen up the alternator, slide it in, put the belt on, and tighten everything back up. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, got a cigarette hanging out of my mouth. But what are we doing here? Oh yeah, that's right. I put the coolant in first. I was going to eat that, but I don't know what that is. It's like old rust or something from them having water in it. Look at the bottom of that cap. Just disgusting. Funny story about that, you know. The 50-50 and the straight, they cost the exact same. But with the concentrate, you can get 2 gallons out of it versus the 50-50 where you only get 1. So for the same price, I recommend concentrate. Get you a 2nd gallon jug, half and half it, and you got 2 gallons of coolant versus 1 for the same price. It only makes sense. I think that's what I'm telling y'all right now anyway. I'm just going to fill it up and make sure that, you know, I have enough. And make sure that I don't have any leaks before I go ahead and put that belt on. So, I think it takes me a second. I had to make sure the video was playing. Here we go. Ain't nothing like using a milk jug for the water. Doesn't matter, that old tractor doesn't care. Yeah, it took 3/4 of a gallon of straight coolant and then 1 full gallon of regular coolant. And just a splash. Well, 1 full gallon of water and then just a splash. So it was definitely a pretty good mix there. I think it's more than thick enough. Now we're going to move over here where I was hoping to be able to just slip the belt on. Yeah, boy was I wrong. That's not even the right belt. Old timer. He threw what looks like a Ford alternator on it. He didn't wire it properly, so I wound up actually wiring where you would plug in an external regulator to a switch. So I keep an eye on the voltage. When it hits 13 volts, I shut off the alternator. At some point, I am going to get a GM 1-wire fire for it. I just haven't yet. Like I said, I want to work through all the bugs before we start adding to it. I really don't want to spend a buttload of money. Look at that, I broke my screwdriver right in half. I don't even know what's on my backside there. Huh. Must be paint or something. I don't know. Weird. Yeah, I'm looking for another screwdriver, see if I can slip that up on there, but it doesn't. I wind up loosening the alternator and going that route with it, so. Yeah, looks like paint. Oh, that's that crap from the coolant. Whatever was in that coolant system. So. So yeah, I wound up taking that top adjuster bolt right off because it needed that extra 1/4 of an inch to fit that huge belt that's on there for no reason on there. And making sure everything's tight. Of course, my phone decides to do that now. Make sure everything's tight and turn the fuel on, and away it's gonna go. A little chilly out, so the thing's a bit of a turd to start. There she goes, running. Oh, maybe not. There it is. It was just a little bit fussy, that's all. But she's running. I think I tell you, woohoo, yay, yippee. It's running, it's doing good. But I'll probably take a short video of it, running after the water pump. This is me just making sure that there's still water in it. Well, coolant. Never put straight water in these machines. I hate farmers that do that. Just, oh yeah, we just gonna dump water right in it. Yeah, that's great for it. It rots the cast iron. Creates just this rusty, disgusting mess inside of them. But, yeah, all done. Water pump job.